Hi guys, it's Emily from Novelle Novels and welcome to today's video. This is, do I have more read or unread books? And I'm just like angry so you don't see the kids' pictures. So I've got a lot of books to count. In this bedroom in here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shelves. Then I have 2 bookshelves downstairs. And I'm counting the read, because the unread I've already done ages ago and I'm just keep topping that up. So I'm going to count the read, and then the books that I bought this month are going to be added onto the unread, and then we're going to do it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do little clips every time I've done a shelf to fill you in on how many reads I've got. While I'm doing this, I think I'm going to get an extra notepad out and start getting the books ready for my project for next year, which is to reread a book a month. So I'm going to be rereading 1 classic. I'm going to be rereading 4 historical fiction, 4 contemporary, 1 classic, 1 middle grade, 1 YA, and 1 non-fiction. I will not be rereading a thriller. That's not going to happen. So while I'm doing this, I think I'm going to prepare the list for that. So I'm not going to tell you what's going on the list, but I'm going to you're going to get some sneaky peeks about what could do. I might give you a few options of what might go in that list. So I'm just going to go and start counting soon. I've got to do this over the course of the morning. Actually, I've got to do this morning before my workout, but who knows? But I better get on because I've got to get to my school. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next clip. Bye bye. So, counted the shelves. That one, we have got 33 books on that shelf. On that very top shelf there is only 1 book that is unread, and that is the Ruth Rendell books. Ruth Rendell short stories. Now that was given to me by someone from work on a Christmas thing. Am I going to reread that? I must admit, I would like to know. What do you think? Because I'm not sure. That's the only one on that top shelf that needs to be. This shelf has got to be rearranged because I think we've got some damp on there. All of the books that I've got from Charlie's books, from Charles Heathcote's books, are getting a bit damaged. So I think I'm going to move those books at some point next year because they're not looking in the best condition, and I love Charlie's books, so I'm going to redo that. Now obviously on the top shelf here, I'm showing you here, most of those are read because there are a lot of the classics I've got. I've got a couple of unread, like I've got 1 Anthony Trollope, I've got a Charles Dickens short stories that's not been read. No, Charles Dickens ghost stories. I mean to read every year and I don't. So that has got to be read. As for my rereads, I don't know about that. Because classic reread, I did a big project on that last year, so I don't think there's any of those books on that shelf that I want to reread at the moment. So I'm now going to go on this shelf here. I think most of this second shelf is going to be read again, so a lot of my classics are read. But let's count up and see how I do. So shelf number 3, there is 61 unread, which is pretty good. But doing this, I've actually found books that I didn't realise I've got that are unread. This is why you are finding out. So I've got an Oscar Wilde short book here, which I think I need to move. I've got an Oscar Wilde, that short story Oscar Wilde, so I think I'm going to put that right at the top of the pile so I remember that one. I found another George Eliot, which is right down there. I think I found Adam Bede. Oh yeah, found Adam Bede unread, so I'm going to have to reread that next year. The only reread I can think is that right now, I don't know about my reread on this one either. This is my reread one, is not going very well. I've got quite a few Eliots to read, so that is going to have to be a project. I might have to do a project at some point to read my George Eliot. I think I'm obviously rereading one of the Bronte books for Jane Austen, my Bronte project, so I think I'm going to count that. I'm going to reread Jane Eyre, and I'm going to count that as my reread, because straight away telling you, because that's part of the Bronte project. So sneaky peek, that's what I'm going to be rereading that. So like I said, I found some other books on here that I've not read, so I need to go through these shelves and read some of the classics. Like I've got the Swiss Family Robinson that I've never read. That's been on my shelf for ages. I've randomly got a blooming Adam Bede in the wrong place. What am I doing? Anyway, let's go to the next one. Right, so this shelf here has got mainly my Agatha Christie's, my Daphne du Maurier's, and some random middle grade, like classics and things like that. Now obviously on that Daphne du Maurier part, I'm going to gradually get through Daphne du Maurier, but that's obviously connected to Alice, so I'm still struggling with that. And obviously I'm collecting more and more Agatha, so that's why this shelf has probably got less red. That's only got 26 red. I've got a lot of like the like Ellen Montgomery books. I've got a lot of those. I've got Louisa May Alcott. I've got a few random ones, but then down the bottom again I've got random ones like such as like Dostoevsky's The Idiot and The Three Musketeers. I don't know why they are there and not up here, but I need to get my classics in order. I think, like I said, this whole bookshelf is going to have to get rearranged next year. I really need to crack on and do that, because that is not making me happy that I've got Three Musketeers down there. So I don't know where I'm going to move that. I might move that up here in the end. I think I might just do a bit of moving that around. Should I do it now? I think I'm going to do it now. Anyway, right, let me crack on. Let's go down to now. Then that is it. We're going on to historical fiction. We are going to those three. I'm going to be moving this down a bit further down because I'm going to be going up and down. I want to be sitting down. Crack on in a minute. You're going to get a different view in a minute. So I'm thinking this is going to be okay. This is going to be a quick clip. On this shelf here, I've just realised, there you go, you need to be there. That shelf here, I've got 33 red. This is probably one of my shortest shelves. The only ones I've got unread are pretty much some Tudor ones. I've got the one that Alice gave me last year for my birthday, this year for my birthday, so that's going to be saved for next year. Also partly because the next one in the series comes out in January in paperback, so I'm going to read that then. So I'm going to read that in January. I've got another Tudor book. I think I've got 2 Tudor books that are on there, red. That's it. So there is nothing else that's going to happen on this one. These next shelves, I think, like I said, this is going to be funny. I might end up moving this, go right down the floor. So we'll see. See you in a second. So on this shelf here, which is the second to bottom one, there is only 15 red. Again, this shelf is predominantly historical fiction that are not necessarily wartime ones. So there is only 15 red on this. At the moment, I'm thinking that reread wise, again, there's not, I've got to start rereading some of them, haven't I? I think I'm going to pick some rereads off this shelf actually, because there is a lot, there's more rereads on that shelf than there is on that one. So I think for that shelf there, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I am going to reread one of the Philippa Gregory's books that I loved. So I think I'm going to reread the Kingsmead. The Boleyn Inheritance was my favourite. So actually, I'm probably going to possibly reread the Boleyn Inheritance. That's probably one of them. And I'm trying to decide if I reread one of these again, Walpole, because Walpole was actually on TV. So I think I might keep that as a possibility for the reread. That Walpole, I reread that series last time, so I've already read those ones, reread those ones. So I think Walpole's a possibility, and then obviously Boleyn Inheritance. I'm writing this all down. Inheritance. The only one I can think about on this shelf here is I've got a few options, and I can possibly want to reread Seven Light. Do I want to reread that one? I've reread The Familiars already, actually, twice. The Mercies I've read. I'm trying to think what other ones down here. I don't know. That's it for the moment. So I can't think of any more on that one. This one at the moment. I may go through it and have a look a bit more, but I'm not sure at the moment. Those are the possibilities for the reread, because I want to think about that. I don't want to reread the Alison Weir series, the Six Queens series, because I've only read that not long ago. So it's whether I reread Walpole. That's the one I think I'm going to do. Maybe not the whole series again, because that drove me mad. But now, yeah, the next clip is the bottom shelf, which has got a lot more books that I've got to count, and it's a lot more emotional because obviously I've got other ones I want to do. So let's see. So this is the last one on this bit, and I think, let's have a look. There is a total of 45 books, red books on this shelf. So on this bit over in the corner right over there, which we probably can't really see, the bottom bit there, I'm probably going to reread Dear Mrs. Bird, because that's the series that I've kept. I'm going to show you what I'm doing as I'm putting them along. How I tend to have the fiction books, the ones I've read, unread at the front. So this is what's doing me in, is that I've got all these red ones down here. So down here is more red. Out of these, I'm thinking about rereading it. Coming Home to Island House. Coming Home to Island House by Erica James is a good one because it's a duology, and I can probably get rid of that if I don't want to keep the duology. Coming Home to, what is it called again? Coming Home to Island House. Coming Home to Island House. So that'll be a good one because then it's a duology. I am probably going to reread one of the Elaine Everest books because obviously with her passing away this year. Island House. And I think I might also reread The Spoon Stealer because that was a ad PR one that I read, and I don't know if I necessarily need to keep it because it's not part of a series, and if I really don't want to reread it, I might not reread it. The Spoon Stealer, I could hand it over to another, not to sell. What I will do is I'll hand it over to someone that wants it. The Spoon Stealer. That's a good idea. So that's given me an idea. So, looking at it, at the moment, these are the historical fiction ones, and I've got quite a few more read than I thought I had. If you think, I'm not going to tell you the maths, but I think there is more read than unread on this. But it doesn't matter, like I said, I've just remembered I've also got to add the trolley books, and there's one reread on this trolley book, I think. One reread. So obviously I have to include the trolley. One reread on the trolley. So I've got to do a +1 trolley one. And then what I'm going to do is now I'm going to go take the bottles to bottle bank. And when I get back, I'll be doing the 2 bookshelves downstairs, halfway upstairs. Let's see how we do. Bye bye. I thought I'd best do it. Hi guys, so we're now on the bookshelves halfway upstairs. We've got this one, which is, I think, yep, you can see this one. And we've got another one just down there, which I'll show you next. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves on this one. And I'm going to count. Sorry about the echoing. This is a bit of a thingy. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves on the bottom. So I'll be doing those next. So next clip, let's see how many read books I've got on. Most of this top shelf will be read, I believe. And I've got a lot of sneaky peeky ones from behind. So this is going to be the mission on this shelf. This is going to be a lot of lifting and moving around. So wish me luck. So, as expected, this has the most amount of read books on the shelf. But this is my sort of display shelf. So it's got 55 read books. There is a lot behind there. There's a couple of series that I need to reread. I'm thinking about rereading Firefly Lane and Fly Away because I hated Firefly Lane. No, I hated Fly Away. So I might reread that because I didn't like that and I did like Firefly Lane. So I might just, that's what might be one. I've got one book that I had on there that I've decided I'm not going to reread, so I've got rid of that, so that doesn't count. But a couple of the Bridget Kemner ones, I'm not sure about those. Over here I've got a couple of Women's Prize books that I need to actually read. And I've got like Alex Crouch that I need to read. I've got a couple of fantasies. So that's this shelf. I'm now going to go down to my middle grade shelf. So I'm going to move your positioning slightly on this next one. So on this middle grade shelf here, I've got 30 unread, which isn't too bad. I'm thinking possibly, if I've all the middle grade, I think if I reread, I might reread, which I'm just trying to show you. I've got the Girl Who Speaks Bear. Now that was a series I read a long time ago, but I'm thinking if I read it once, do I need to keep that? It's not necessarily a story it's a series I've not necessarily wanted to reread yet. I know I enjoyed it, but I don't necessarily know if I want to reread it. So The Girl Who Speaks Bear is probably going to be my reread. Other than that, I do have Girl Who Speaks Bear. What other ones do I have? That's more these are more my YA still. Girl Who Speaks Bear, I think realistically The Girl Who Speaks Bear is probably going to be the only one I've got that I reread, because a lot of these other ones I've got as part of a series that I've not been completed, and like I've got Lizette Orton, Amari the Great Game. It could be the Michelle Harrison series that I could reread, but I'm not quite ready. I don't think I'm quite ready for that one to be reread, so I'm a sneaky peeky telling you that one. That's going to be The Girl Who Speaks Bear to be read. So the next one is this shelf down here, but I can't show it to you, so I'm going to be moving down again, and that'll be my YA shelf. So that'll be that. So this YA shelf has a lot more read than I thought it did, because obviously it's got all the Percy Jackson ones that I reread last, that I've been rereading. I've got a load of Bridget Kemner, because obviously I've been collecting all her books. She's got a latest book coming out in January, so I'm really looking forward to that. So I've kept all hers. I've got all of the Becky Chambers series. I've got all the Mallory Blackman Noughts and Crosses series. I've got loads of other books that I've read, but they're ones that I'm going to be rereading different series. So I think it's more than likely that obviously the Bridget Kemner one's going to get reread, but I also think that I'm tempted to reread the Noughts and Crosses series again soon. So I think that might be an option of maybe another one. I might add that one, but it is definitely one I'm thinking about as well. I don't know whether to count the reread of the Bridget Kemner one, because I know I've got to be rereading that. Whether I do the Noughts and Crosses, because I did love that. But that's it. Now the bottom shelf is going to be non-fiction, so I don't know how I'm going to get a view of it, but it's non-fiction and it's my thrillers. So obviously I'm going to be rereading one of the non-fictions, but I'm not going to be rereading one of the thrillers and mysteries. So let's see on this little bottom shelf. Bye bye. So, bottom shelf, I'm going to see if I can angle you. Maybe down there. No, that's not going to show you in it. No, you do not want to see. But yeah, basically that bottom shelf there. You're going to see an angle. That one has got, I'm going to put you back up here while I talk. That one has got 29 books unread, because I don't tend to keep my non-fiction and I don't really keep thrillers. I've got a couple of thrillers that I've kept, like I've got The Maid, which I've got by Nina Prose, which I've got a really gorgeous copy of. That's my thriller that I've kept. I think I've got a couple of Dorothy Coomson thrillers that I've kept. Still deciding about whether I keep those. And I've got a couple of non-fiction ones, like the Comfort book, Christy Watson's The Courage of Care. So that's a possibility, but I think I've got another non-fiction over on my bottom shelf of read ones over there, which I think might be my reread. So I'm not decided on my non-fiction reread yet. And I may not actually decide that on this video, because I want to think about that one a bit more. So that is this bookshelf done. And now we're going to start on the last bookshelf, which is the contemporary. And I think, seeing as I'm down on the bottom, I'm going to stay on the bottom and go up, because otherwise it's going to befuddle me. So this bottom shelf that you can't really see again, there you go, that bottom shelf there has got a load of my the read books. So these are my read books that are hardback that I don't necessarily want to keep on display, although maybe that might change. So I've got all my Beth O'Leary's I've got in hardback, which I've got all of hers in hardback bar the flat share. So in some ways I would like to get the flat share in hardback. I've got the Cat Lady that I got given last year. That was my red one that I got given by the lovely Jem from Gemma Books, which I loved. I think my non-fiction one, I've got a Daniel Howe one, non-fiction one, which I might reread. That's one I'm really thinking about as well. And then I'm not going to show you the books I've already read this month, because they would have already been in the video. So the next shelf I'm going to be doing is the one I've got a really good angle at, which is this one. And let's see how well this one does. Bye. So on this shelf, I've moved some around just so you can see roughly what I've got. I've got 39 unread books on this shelf. This one is the one that kind of gets a lot of read books on it. I have got 3 Sophie Cousins, and I'm trying to decide whether one of those gets reread, because I don't necessarily need to keep those. Although one of them, I swear, has been put into a Netflix film, and that's this time next year, I think. But I can't remember. Where's that one day? Don't know. I've got a load of Kathy Brownlees that I'm going to keep. I've got a couple of I've got one Bella Osborne that I might keep. I've got all the Jill Sim ones that I'm definitely keeping those, because I need to reread those. Jenny Colgan ones I'm doing a big thing about next year. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep hers again. Laura Jane Williams, one of these is definitely going to get read, and then I've got to reread that one, because I've not necessarily automatically gone to be rebuying her books. So either One Night with You, The Love Square, or The Lucky Escape will get reread next year. Ali McNamara, to be honest, I love her. I'm going to keep her anyway. And then over here, I've got the Ali Hazelwoods that I'm keeping, Kathy Brownlee, The Patchwork Family. 1000 Stars in You, I'm probably not even going to reread that, because though I love it with this disability rep, I don't think I need to keep that because, so actually I'm going to take a book off that because I've reread it twice and it's not necessarily one I need to reread again. So actually that number's going down to 38 because I'm not going to keep that one. So that's that shelf. And then the next one up is the page 2 ones and the Jenny Colgan one. So you've got an idea of the rereads. I'm not necessarily keeping those as set because I've got this month, I've got a couple of weeks to decide what's going on the rereads. And at the moment, I think I kind of got an idea. Like I said, at least one of the Jenny Colgan, one of the Laura Jane Williams, and possibly one of the other ones. But know for a fact that we've got at least 2 or 3 out of there that's going to be reread. Let's go on to the penultimate shelf, which is this one here, which I think I might keep you as I am. I might just move it up a little bit. There. So this is my shelf. It's all my page 2, my Jenny Colgans, and a few other, my pink books down this side in honour of Alice. They're all my pink ones. I kept them together. And I've got a couple of random ones on this pile here that need to be read probably. As for the rereads, I've got some ideas about the Jenny Colgans. I don't think I'm going to reread any of the page 2 because I know I'm going to be keeping her. Like, she's just an automatic keepy. But I've got some of the Jenny Colgan older ones, like the Somerset side of the Seaside Kitchen. So I might look at those. And we'll go from there. But I think that's going to be the only one I'm going to read, like one maybe 1 or 2 Jenny Colgans, probably 1 because I think I need to reread 1 author. But yeah, you can see my massive page 2 collection, which is massive, and I've got a lot of Jenny Colgan. But page 2 is author I'm going to keep. Jenny Colgan, I'm not necessarily buying hers automatically. Although if I do read one of those, I think there's one of these ones that I might not necessarily keep, and that's the Island Wedding. Although that hardback series, so I might have to keep the one with the hardback. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. But now to the top shelf. So I think what I might do is I might, rather than having you on this, I might actually hold you because it might be easier. Let's go. So for that top shelf there, this for here, I've only read 22 books on this shelf, and that's literally the Kathy Brownlees. And I think I've got a couple of odd ones on the end there. I think I will read a Kathy Brownlee next year because, not necessarily because I want to unhaul it, because I want to reread the start of a series. And I love that author, so I may still read a page 2 anyway, and not do it as a reread to work out what I want to get rid of. Why don't I reread it because I want to reread it? So I've got to pick one of the Heidi Swains. So maybe I might mix up my rereads next year. Maybe I might read some that I might not, some that I want to keep anyway. I'm going to keep obviously all the Hedgehog Hollow ones because I've only just read those. All of these are sneaky peeks, so I don't want to show you too much of those because they're planned for next year as well. So the last clip will be once I've added it all up, I've got to include on my unread, I've got to add the unread books that are not counted in the number, so the books that I bought this month. I'm not going to tell you how many that is, but I've got to add that and then it will add it all up. So the last clip will be all the maths bits. Let's see how we do. Okay, so I've just added up my numbers. And I am in complete and utter shock, and it's also made me realise that this reread project needs to happen next year. So adding the books that I bought, I'm filming this on the 12th of November and I've already gained 20 books this month. Not counting, I'm not stressing, but my unread is only 310 books. When I just added up my read books, 531 read books. My library of books that I own is 841 books. I need to get rereading. I need to decide which books I'm going to keep. I need to reread a fair amount of books. And maybe cut back my buying. The thing is, my buying's not bad because I am obviously buying them. I think this is the problem. The fact that I've got less unread means that I'm obviously keeping them, and obviously means that I'm obviously liking them. But I'm happy with the fact my unread is less than the read. But I'm also quite like shocked at how many read books I've got, and it means I do need to seriously think about whether I'm going to be rereading these or what I'm going to keep, and if it's okay to have that. But this is the question that this video has made me think about, and it's a discussion we've had with the Waffle group. Is it okay to have more read or unread books? What are our libraries like? Is it okay to have like a little library that you can reread books whenever you want? Because I've been so focusing on reading what I've been buying that I've not really read very much because I've been so focused on keeping that unread number down. I just think maybe that I've been focused too much on that number. Maybe I should focus on the fact that it's not that, like I said, I'm obviously reading them as soon as I buy them, which is a great thing. But maybe I should reread some of the books I'm reading. Maybe I do need to go through the shelves a bit more and work out, do I really want to keep all of these? Like I said, the Jenny Colgan number, that number's gonna go down by quite a bit. I've got a couple of other series that I bought in the historical fiction that I want to reread. But looking at these numbers, I've got a lot of classics. Classics read, that's fine because I know I'm going to reread that. That is the big chunk of 61 books from one shelf of classics that I've read that I've kept. That is a big chunky number. The fact that I've got 55 books on that top shelf and then halfway down the stairs, that number's obviously a bit higher. So maybe I need to go through that a little bit more. And the fact that I've got more middle grade and I've got a lot of series that I'm keeping, so maybe I do need to work it out. But then, is that a bad thing? This is what this video has made me think. Yes, I own a lot of books, but have I been focusing on the wrong thing? And do we focus on the wrong thing? I'm not going to do this as a tag, but would you guys like to talk about it? If you do want to talk about it and you link my channel down below, please feel free. But do we focus on the wrong thing with our numbers? Do we focus too much on our numbers? I know so many people that are focused on having that unread. Like I said, a lot of people, when I tell them my unread books was like 290 unread books, they were shocked. They were like, oh my God, that's loads. But then when I compare it to what I've got as my read, I'm realising I'm not doing a bad job. I'm just actually buying books I want to keep. And having my own little library, that's not a bad thing, is it? Especially with chronic pain and all my other stuff. Am I focusing on the wrong thing? I really would love to have a chat with you guys in the comments. Please chat with you down below. I don't know if there's an emoji of a book. Obviously, do like if you got to the end of this video, a book stack emoji, or you could do a shocked face emoji because I am totally and utterly do one of your shocked face emojis because I am totally and utterly shocked that I own a lot more read than unread now. That's the thing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, not subscribed yet, ring on my ding-a-ling, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.